Now it is. Now it is. Is this enough length for you?
I think so.
We're
Oh, this is nice.
I can get you a little more length on there. I'm gonna change this. It's Tuesday morning.
Tuesday mornings.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, get those nails out. We need to hammer some things into the wall.
Wow. This is more turning out to be more complicated than I expected. So we were talking. This is Tuesday morning.
Tuesday.
With Clifford and Zav. And it's looks like it's. Can you see the temperature there, Cliff?
It looks to be about 48 degrees.
Yeah, this feels like
Fahrenheit.
About that.
It's about 9 degrees Celsius.
9. Wow, I never know my Celsius. It's 9 degrees in Europe right now.
Yeah, those poor souls. I saw people in shorts today. I saw maybe 6 people in shorts today. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
Yeah, it was so cold today.
I saw Chili Chill came in here with an open, like his shirt wide open.
Well, that's Chili Chill.
Yeah.
What would you expect nonetheless from him?
Right. Especially the name Chili Chill. Are you someone who is more susceptible to the cold or less susceptible to the cold?
I'd say less. I do really well in all temperatures.
Uh-huh.
I think it's genetics, you know.
Yeah, sure.
I love the heat. The heat makes me realize the need to relax, the need to, and the want of the body to just remain still and enjoy like cool things like swimming, and the heat is just an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Be bobbing in the water, in a large body of water. And the winter makes me feel more like a strong. The winter makes me feel like a man. I'm stronger. I move quicker. You got to stay warm. You got to take those big steps.
Yeah.
You got to like work through the snow. And here in Wisconsin, the snow is very high at times.
Yeah, I think about that when I go jogging. I don't jog that much, but when I used to do it a lot, I was always like, why is it that when I go on like a 5-mile run on a beautiful day, it's like it's like the easiest thing in the world. I mean, it's like you almost wish you were doing that,
Yeah, you don't want to stop.
Right. But then why is it that when you're doing the same thing in January on like icy snow or through slush with like super cold wind coming in your face, why does that feel like such a harder exercise?
Work. It's more of a challenge. It's work.
Yeah. But what is it? I mean, besides for just temperature. Okay, well, sure, there's a difference in temperature. But why is it that like when you're in the cold, it's like such a workout? You know what I mean? It's such a workout. It's like just being cold is a workout. Am I right?
No, you're totally right. I mean, your body has. We're warm-blooded creatures, so our body has a desire to create heat and to make us feel warm.
Yeah, and you do use calories when you're cold.
We have to move more. We have to.
Yeah.
You have to snuggle, you have to cover, you have to just move. And that's what I love about the winter is that you go out, you enter like a whole new, like, it's like Mother Nature, like, challenging you. Saying, can you handle this?
Yeah.
Are you still going to be the same person if I throw this shit at you? Come
on.
Here's 3 feet of snow and 0-degree weather.
Yeah, and in addition to it, it's like the rewards for that are that you get stuck like in these little, like you don't get to get out up much. And
well, you meet other strong people. You meet other people willing to brave.
Yeah.
That.
That's a good. Yeah, I've never thought about that before, but you're right. You're sort of separating the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah.
By living in a cold climate.
One of the most busiest nights at the bar that I work at was the blizzard where the snow was like over car windows.
I love that. See, to me, the snow is just like a pleasure. It's like that's one of the rewards for winter is that you get all this snow. But what's really what's brutal about winter is when it's just shitty out, just shitty.
Oh, if it's cold and there's no
cold
snow,
as hell, and there's no snow. It's just ice that you can break your ass on, or else like, it's just a little harder to get through the roads, and your car doesn't start and all that. But it's like the pleasure, like the snow has turned into just shitty,
ice,
like frozen
gray
slush,
ice,
gray frozen. That to me is the winter that is hard to deal with. If you say like, I get to take a walk in the woods and all the trees are just covered in snow, and you're trudging through snow in your like cool winter outfit or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just virgin, like you're the first footsteps.
Oh, there's something about that. It's like
it's so
if
nice.
Anybody had ever landed on the moon,
mm-hmm.
that's what it would be like.
Yeah, right.
It would be like stepping on the snow.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a real similar. Must have been that would be. I have to say that must be an amazing experience. Those people who experienced that. They must be the people who landed on the moon.
Nobody ever landed on the moon. Are you serious? That's all fucking TV.
Okay, well, those people who did that TV show.
They illustrated it so well.
They must have lived that part. Yeah.
You know what's great about that? Even if it didn't ever happen, the hope and the feelings that it gave the masses of people.
Does it give you hope? To me, it just confuses me more.
It's amazing. It's like recognizing the power of human.
Yeah.
Like we can do this.
Yeah.
But what's great about that is I truly don't believe that anybody ever landed on the moon. But the facade of it all.
Well, let me ask you this: why don't I mean not? Why do you believe that it's not true? Because I can imagine there's all kinds of explanations. But my question is, why do you think it's not possible? Do you think it's possible?
Well, anything is possible, really. I mean,
well, but I mean,
anything.
Within the realm of. Do you think it's within the realm of possibility?
I think that we are not able yet to understand the possibilities of, and.
But I mean, do you believe the space shuttle?
You know what I think the space shuttle does? I think the space shuttle flies up to a certain altitude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen a space shuttle take off.
No.
I've seen about 6 in my life.
Yeah.
And it seems like they go up to a certain level and I understand that there might be like some optical illusion.
Yeah.
There, but it seems like they just sail off into the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like that so much that I'm like, they really aren't going up. It's just like.
Well, okay, so do you believe, I mean, you've obviously traveled by air.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty pedestrian thing at this point. It's something that we can do we do it on a route.
It still blows my mind. I traveled.
Yeah, it blows my mind too.
The first time I traveled, I was like probably about 7 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I flew to Florida from Mosinee, Wisconsin to Chicago to... Mosinee. Very small airport. Mosinee to Chicago to West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
Which is actually on the East Coast. Which is
weird.
But I remember like this vision, this thought in my mind, because I couldn't even comprehend how big the world was.
Yeah.
So I thought that the plane went up, circled around for like 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
While the world below me switched everything around and changed like the set of my life. Wow. This was like a thought I had, yeah. And then I landed, and I was in the same area, but they had disguised it so well and made things so different.
Yeah. Wow.
The biggest thing was,
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I know what air travel is. And that's part of why I want to travel by foot or by bicycle. Like, it's in order to understand what you're really traversing. Like, I've made this I've said this many times, like that it's easier for me, much easier for me. It would be far easier, and for you or anyone we know, to fly to Tokyo tomorrow,
Yeah.
than to walk to Madison tomorrow.
Oh, totally.
There's just no questions asked.
There's less effort, but the one thing that you need to do that is money, and you get money by putting effort into, like, something fully.
Mm-hmm.
Like you create, like, a source of income.
I see. So there's that energy too.
If you go to a job every day, that's the same as walking to 160 miles away.
Yeah. Well, not 100, but yeah. I mean,
if you were to put it into like,
if you put it in 8-hour shifts,
how much does a plane take?
I would
cost
walk.
and how
I'd
much do
walk.
you get paid?
I'd walk 8 hours a day for $10 an hour. Why not?
Think about the greatest ways to travel. My top 3 are
By
train,
foot,
by car,
mm-hmm.
and by horse.
Oh.
Can you imagine traveling from, let's say, Maine?
Oh,
Let's
well,
just say
no, I would say I love
Maine to Oregon.
I love train.
On horse.
And C, I love horse, but B, car. Cars are not so great because you can't relax. There's always car accidents.
Well, you can always relax. Well, there's always accidents and everything. I mean,
No,
by stepping out of the door, you take a risk.
When I'm in a car, I always think about that I might die. Almost, or I mean, not like if I go to the grocery store, but if I'm getting on the highway to go somewhere far away, even Madison. If I get in a car and we get on the highway, the first thing I think about is we might die.
But what do you think about after that? Do you think about all the things you value in life and all the things you would miss and all the people?
Not really. I just think we might die, but I've never died yet, and I've been on the highway many times.
It could happen at any second. It could happen right now.
But it could happen at any time.
A car could fucking just plow right through.
But I'm just saying, statistically, we know that car accidents. But you know what? I'll in addition to that, every single time I fly, I think we might die.
As human beings, do we not always think like we might die? I mean, we know. Right. If it's anything that we learn,
it's not how not to get killed.
Yeah, you're constantly protected and constantly. Your life is prolonged by others who care about you for so long that you develop a way to realize like the risks and the choices that you take and the pros and cons of any decision.
Yeah, well, that's because we were talking earlier about death and the fear of death. And I think you said that you would prefer not to know. That would be the best way to die. Yeah. And then I was saying, well, to be honest with you, it's death, period. And I didn't say this. Yeah, I didn't say this, but this is the way I feel, is that if I was tortured before, that would be horrible, horrible. I don't ever want to be tortured. If I was to see it coming, and I knew it was happening, that would be horrible. But if it just happened all of a sudden, that would be horrible too.
It would be because you wouldn't have any thoughts.
Yeah.
Because
and in addition, and also you could say, okay, all of that would be horrible, but that horrible would last maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a year if you're really unlucky. But I lived 47 years so far. So that's just one of those 47.
You're 47 years old?
Oh, 46. 46.
Don't rush life, son.
That's just one of those 46 years. I'm on my 47th. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm on my 47th. Okay. That's just one. You can't... Fear can't erase the good times, And you
wouldn't have good times if it wasn't for the fear. Because
And then I think also fear is... well, this is what I was saying. It's obvious. It's kind of a no-brainer. But obviously, if you weren't fearful of death, you would not be alive.
You wouldn't enjoy life anyway.
No, but you would literally not be alive, because if you were not afraid of dying, you'd walk off a cliff and just be like, let me see what this is like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, what's this about? I'm just going to eat. I want to find out what death is like. I'll try that out. It's like, if you weren't afraid of death, you'd die.
Think about
So everyone who lives, most people alive, just that's one genetic trait we all have, is to be scared shitless of death. You know, of anything that pretends to be death.
It's true. As humans, you know that anything, any little thing, from like a fucking sliver to a fucking, like a gunshot to the head would kill you.
Right. Or crossing the street without looking, or even like
fucking ladder being like unevenly like positioned on a street could fall, hit you in the head.
Yeah.
Anything.
Or even a cut where you're bleeding, not being afraid that like you may die of bleeding.
Yeah. So many people are unaware of where arteries are, and they might think it's like a wound, and then wrap it up, and they just bleed to death.
Yeah, it probably happens. But anyway, if that's the case, then is our fear of death as irrational as our attraction to sex? Probably. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that might be. That's where you can see like how a human is split, because you have the mind and the body, like, because the mind fears death and dying, and you want to prolong it.
Mm-hmm.
You create new life, and you have this like need and want to like carry on yourself through something else. So we create children.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, we're separate from everyone else, and our fears are like, I just don't even know how to describe what I see right now. It's like reading tarot cards. It's gonna be so vague that
I'm not a father. I've made a conscious decision never to be a father. And I don't what do I feel about that? So I made that conscious decision, but it took me a long time. For a long time I was just like, well, if I want to have kids, I'll have kids. But so far it hasn't occurred to me. Or if I want to get married, I'll get married, but it hasn't occurred to me.
You could have a kid right now. I mean,
I could have a kid right now.
No, Zav, you already have had kids.
Well,
the way
here's
that
the
you
thing.
care for people and take care of people, you have like been a father to a number of people. I feel.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that like that is something that's really new in our society, that we can think in those ways because we're not the structures aren't forcing us to go a certain way. Structurally, my grandfather had no choice but to be a father.
Right.
I mean, he'd have to have been like flaming gay not to be a father. And then it would have all been covered up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But disguised by marriage and
disguised, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like we're in a weird time period where we're, on the one hand, technology keeps advancing and at this super rapid pace. And so it's like the whole thing of like the songs we all appreciate. It's like your library of songs in your mind are slightly different from my library of songs in my mind. And mine are radically different from my parents' songs in their mind, of like the songs that were of their period of their coming of age. I always refer to it as your coming of age period becomes like the one that resonates with you for the rest of your life. So an old woman in a nursing home will still like Fred Astaire songs, whereas like an old woman in a nursing home in 30 years or 50 years will still have Britney Spears songs in her,
Maybe.
Like, or some other,
might
like,
know, like, some, it's evolution.
But okay, the point I was going to make is that sorry, I'm just blabbing.
Go.
But that this is new. That in the old days, your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, and your son would all sing the same songs, would all have the same cultural references for the most part.
I think that's because there was less distractions that you could share those things.
Well, there was technology wasn't rapidly advancing. You know what I'm saying? So like technology rapidly advances, everything, the whole culture shifts. We're kind of like coming to a simmer or almost to a boil as a culture, like where we are just reinventing everything.
Oh yeah,
Reinventing
there's
ourselves.
mutations and morphs of like ideas and religions, and
Mm-hmm.
I think within the next 10 years there's going to be like another 30 religions that are born out of this
Right.
because of new understandings and people being humans and wanting to
Mm-hmm.
believe in something and wanting to believe in something that other people believe in and a mutual understanding. I think that those songs that you talk about of families and multiple generations singing them, because of the lack of technology, you were part of a group already.
Mm-hmm.
You were never really able to escape or become different. You just were, you just learned what you were taught, and that's what you were.
Yeah.
And it definitely separated. And as
It's funny.
came
I
about-
just thinking about this. What you're saying is, it makes me think of China, the Arab world, and America. And America almost representing
the middle ground.
the entire Eurocentric society. So everything from Australia to Europe to America to Canada, all the white kind of Eurocentric people, and maybe others that I'm not thinking of right off the bat, maybe Japanese or something. We represent a certain kind of people and a culture. And then there's the Chinese. They represent one. And then the Arab world. Maybe I'm kind of going out on a limb here. I haven't thought this through.
Well, it's only because you're really a racist person.
Yeah. But the Chinese have a very specific idea about time and what one, like how an individual fits into the big picture. And in China, people don't think of the individual the way we do. First of all, they think in terms of 5 generations, and they think of themselves as part of a bigger whole. And the Japanese do that too. So that's one. The other one is the Arab world, which, one of the things they said after 9/11 is, you Americans, you Western people, you don't understand. You love life. We love death. So like they are a people who, again, have a higher tolerance for death. And I place the Chinese in that same category where they have a very high tolerance for death. It's really not the same.
Well, if there's a
then,
reason.
Then there's us, the Western people, who are like all about inventing ourselves all over again and being sort of like free agents, having all this free agency.
I just want to say one thing. I think that America's greatest fear is being forgotten.
Yeah.
That us as individual Americans
Wow.
have like this need to become like something that lives on.
Yeah.
That will be remembered. And look at how photographs have taken just a giant leap. Throughout history. I mean, it's like obtainable archaeology. Like,
actually,
it's like
let me just say though, I think probably that's true with every culture, the fear of being forgotten.
Yeah.
I really think that is what culture is. Culture is either something that is remembered or it's something that is forgotten. But it's not a culture if it's forgotten. It literally disintegrates.
Well, look at what we're doing right now.
With forgettingness.
We're recording
Right.
ourselves talking to each other.
Right. Why are we doing that?
Yeah, because you know what? It would probably be even more special if it was just us.
Yeah, right. But there's
we have,
something
like,
that
this
kind of
need.
gives it an extra boost to just be like, maybe somebody out there is listening to this.
I think it shows a connection. It illustrates that we are all
And you know what's
raindrops
even
in an
crazier?
ocean,
Not only that, maybe someone's listening to us right now,
we don't
but
even
maybe
know it.
someone will listen to us in 20 years or 30 years.
And connect.
And we will connect.
That goes back to how vain us as humans are, is that we think that we will like help somebody else out.
But we, being What's wrong with vanity? Like,
There's nothing.
what,
I don't. I mean,
know?
I'm proud that I'm vain. I look in my mirror and I'm like, oh yeah, I look good.
Yeah.
And I look.
I'm
at myself,
the opposite. I actually have a lot of like self effacement. I'm very like.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm sort of like negative on myself, but I'm conscious of it as well. So I'm not. But it's kind of a Catholic guilt thing or something. Maybe I don't know what it is, but anyway. Go ahead. What were you saying?
We just we want to be known.
Yeah.
And
why?
I know that's like the greatest thing.
It's just I think it's
desire?
as mysterious as sex. I think it's as mysterious as sex. Why people want to be famous is as mysterious as sex. It makes no sense.
No. It all goes together. If you could break it down, the people want to be famous and well known, because with that comes more sex.
You think so?
I think so.
What about someone who doesn't really care for sex, who wants to be famous, or someone who
then they're more famous than everyone, and they let down so many other people.
I think you were onto it when you said that the two are the same. It is sex, but it's a different kind of sex. We're spreading our seeds, but we're spreading our seeds in an intellectual sense.
It's true.
And therefore,
we want to connect with
we're
somebody
literally
who we don't know.
living on. But I don't know how this works. But like this is what they talk about.
It's like mind impregnation.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Think about Einstein. Do you know anything about his kids?
No, to be honest.
Picasso's kids. Well, there's Paloma. She didn't really amount to much. Name any Gershwin. Name any famous person. Woody Allen. Does he have kids? Like,
does Woody Harrelson have kids? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Does Johnny Depp have kids? Does any famous person? Do you give a shit about their kids? No, you care about their work.
People do care about their children. Like, look at fucking One Tusk. What's his name? Tom Cruise. And
I don't know anything about his kids.
Syria. I don't know either.
I'm
not
pretending. I'm not acting like I don't know. I literally, honestly have no clue about Tom Cruise even having kids. If I had to say yes or no, I wouldn't know.
It seems
but
so weird.
I can name a lot of Tom Cruise movies. I could almost do an impersonation of him. I've never met him in real life.
Do you know that he only has one front tooth?
No.
That's crazy. Check it out next time. Check it out next time.
Really?
The movie. Yeah.
Wow. One front tooth.
You know where we have two teeth? Like, picture a beaver with two front teeth.
Wow.
And then just picture no space in between. And then slightly off to the left or the right. That's Tom Cruise.
That's slightly off to the left or right.
Well, it's
helped make it clear to me.
It's getting pretty late, so it's 4 to 3.
Yeah, we overstepped our bounds. We were gonna quit at 45.
That's true. And my mom's at home right now. She's sleeping on my bed.
Nice.
I gotta bring her to the airport tomorrow.
Wow. Well, you're listening to Tuesday morning at 2:56.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
The first, but not the last. Let's do a multiple microphone high five. Yes, beautiful.